Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome back to some more Overwatch. Today we're gonna continue playing some competitive. Now, I ended up completing my placement matches and in total I went out with 7 losses and 3 wins. Pretty terrible. It wasn't even so much that the games were really bad, it was mostly that in 3 of those, one of my teammates left really early on into the game and it was just very difficult to play and win those matches. Either way though, we're obviously gonna have to go ahead and redeem ourselves and see if we can go ahead and play some games where we actually win. Alrighty, so we find ourselves on Hollywood. Now, I've played a couple of games as well after the fact, and none of those went too amazing either, so we really need to make sure we rank up a little bit more. Now, all in all, I do really enjoy the current system that they've introduced in the game with competitive. I think it's much better than what they had initially in the PTR. Of the game, like very little sudden death, which is awesome, but it looks like we may have to start off with a little bit of support, and I'm gonna go ahead and pick Lucio. Alrighty, so the game is about to begin. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I actually really like the current system though. It's so very nice to play. Now, obviously, at the beginning of one of those new seasons, I think there's gonna be quite a couple of levers and people with bad connections and whatnot. The fact of the matter is that if you are going up in a 5 versus 6, generally speaking, it's just pretty much impossible to win. I mean, even though that's not entirely true, and while it may definitely be, you know, something that is not completely accurate, all in all, it's very difficult to win games where you're gonna be behind as far as players go. Now, the nice thing that they've introduced in Overwatch, and I saw a couple of people get really upset about that on the forums and whatnot, is the fact that when you leave too many games, or you disconnect from too many games, or you're not in too many competitive games until the very end for whatever reason, you're gonna actually be taken out of the competitive system for the entirety of the remainder of the season, which is absolutely huge. I love that. I saw a lot of people complain about it, but like I said, you know, if you want to try and compete and you actually be good at the game, if you're currently playing with a group of friends and one of them keeps disconnecting, I'm very sorry for your friend, but I mean, he's just wasting your scores. So, even though some of you may not like it as much, I think it's absolutely enormous and absolutely great. We did just get our ulti, by the way, ended up using the sound barrier here to try and capture A. On Hollywood, we need to go ahead and grab A, at which point we'll need to escort his limousine towards B. Now, for the moment, we just simply have to keep as many of the allies alive. Now, there is a rip target coming in. I'm gonna be backing off here just for a little bit. Looks like it did get already taken out though, which is fine. Or actually, no, it ended up doing some damage to one of my teammates. And it looks like they may very well have been able to already push us off of the objective. A little bit unfortunate. Obviously, I'm going to be the healer in the bunch here, so it's pretty difficult for me to really keep, you know, the pressure on. I'm really here to try and keep everyone alive and topped off as far as healing goes, so that's exactly what I'm doing. The longer I stay alive, the more healing I will be able to provide, so generally speaking, if I can avoid dying, I will definitely do so. I will definitely do so. Now, we need to make sure that we get one of those pushes going once again. Torbjorn has his turret up on the elevator, which is one of the most powerful positions in the game. But it looks like we're gonna go ahead and walk around. Okay. Okay. We gotta be careful, though. That turret is in such an annoying place. Let's see if we can potentially pick it off. Look at that thing. It's so annoying. It's such an annoying position here to be in. Walking around once again. For the majority of the time, I'm keeping my health up. I'm keeping my health up here. Oh, man. Crazy fight so far. And they're actually holding on once more. I gotta make sure I get out of here. Oh, and I do get taken out there by Symmetra. So far, been doing 4,500 healing, which is a crazy amount. But we did not manage to quite break objective A here. That's a little frustrating. Now, I did just ask our Vara to go ahead and see if she could potentially take out the turret, because the turret is really what's not allowing us to push forward here. Sadly, she hasn't been capable of doing so thus far, and it's making it really difficult for us to push onwards here. Like I said, I'm not here to carry the team. I'm just here to keep the team alive, and that's exactly what I'm focusing on. So far, they're doing a really good job of holding on to the objective, and I don't know if we're gonna be able to even grab a single point here. I'm not sure if we're gonna be capable of even hitting a single point here. They managed to complete round 1 in absolute dominant fashion, getting 0 points in total. Ugh. I'm gonna go ahead here and play my strongest hero, or at the very least, if I'm allowed to, I will do exactly that. I'm gonna go ahead and play a little bit with Symmetra and try and slow down the enemy team. The only way we can win now is by preventing them to also capture A. If they do, they will end up picking the victory. Okay, sadly, we don't actually have a dedicated healer here. A little bit frustrating. We've got a relatively good setup so far. Or actually, we did just have Vara switch into Mercy. Thank you very much, Miss Vara, rather. We did just switch into a Mercy, which should help us out a ton. But either way, I'm gonna go ahead and set up my turrets around the perimeter. We're gonna make sure that we slow down the enemies as much as possible. I generally speaking set up 3 in the corners over here, and I'm gonna be setting up a couple around this area here too. Hopefully, everyone is here ready to be shielded, obviously. I need to make sure that I provide that to all of my allies. But I'm gonna go ahead here and make sure that we have the, the perimeter and the entire setup ready to go. Once again, we need to make sure we hold on. And I don't think we played a bad round 1. It was just pretty difficult for us to push into the area that they already had, defended so extremely well. And we're trying to basically just do the exact same thing to them right now. Come here, you monkey! Oh, he actually does manage to get out. I was hoping we wouldn't be capable of doing that, but it's time for me to start setting up my turrets, or my sentry turrets, once again. They've actually done a really good job of immediately breaking it. Rather frustrating. Oh man, what? Dude, that was through a wall. That was through a wall. That one didn't count. That was definitely not fair. Alright, let's put up my turret, or my teleporter. Teleporter is extremely helpful. Does make things significantly easier. And already do we see a enemy going in here with the fight. Oh man, I didn't think he would chase me down. And I do end up getting taken out, sadly not having any backup there. And I think that immediately means that also the teleporter is gonna end up falling here. Oh man, this is looking absolutely terrible. And there, yeah, the teleporter did just end up disappearing as well. However, they did not use the time just now that they've basically opened up for themselves to push into the objectives, and it looks like it was just really me falling there, which is, I guess, alright. If anyone is gonna die, I guess let it be Symmetra. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the armor pack here, which is real important. And I'm gonna go ahead and set up my, my sentries once again in a bit more of a defensive posture. Once again, just focusing on trying to slow down as many of the enemies as possible. Looks like there's currently a guy that we had a little bit of an issue with earlier. Gotta make sure that we start protecting this area as much as we possibly can. Obviously, if I don't take damage here for 3 seconds, I will end up getting a little bit of additional, pressure. Don't want to chase him down for no apparent reason. Why are you standing still? Alrighty then. Alrighty then. That's good. This is good for us. 2 minutes remaining. If we manage to hold on for somehow, some way to this objective a little bit longer than this, we do actually have a chance at winning this one in our advantage. Now, obviously, we're not gonna be there quite yet. And I'm gonna go ahead and put up my teleporter in a really aggressive position. This is something that hopefully will allow my allies to get back into the combat faster, and therefore will aid us in just barely holding on towards objective A. Now, you gotta keep in mind, they can actually move up this area quite easily, but generally speaking, in my experience, they don't do that. They don't actually do that all too often, and I'm gonna be hanging around over here, obviously, to make sure that we guard this area as much as we possibly can. Okay, 1 minute remaining. We're actually doing really nice. Everything considered, we're doing basically as best as we can. None of us are really dying, which is exactly what we need to happen. And as long as we keep our charges up, I think we actually have a good chance at winning this one. Once again, putting up my sentry turrets here around the perimeter, making sure that wherever they're gonna be entering the objective from, they're always gonna be hit from. And that little, like, positioning there on the Torbjorn turret, the same one that the enemies just used in the previous round too, seems to be working out extremely nicely for us. Okay. I end up taking a little bit of damage once again, but everything considered, this is looking as nicely as we could have hoped for. Now our Hanzo ended up dying there, which is fine. Oh man, they're actually pushing. They're actually pushing really hard now. Our teleporter should be very useful here. Oh no, oh no, oh no, they're getting up there, they're getting up there. Now I did just get a revival. They're currently on the objective though, all of them, and I need my allies here in order to obtain the victory here. We gotta push them off. We got to push them off. I don't know if anyone has their ultimate still available, ready to go. I do get taken out there. Overtime is being triggered, and I think that that ultimate of our Zarya did just manage to, at the very least, push them off for the moment. I think it did. I think it did. Okay. So here we go. Here we go. This game turned out to be a little bit risky. And we now do get some sudden death going here as well. Actually, was that our team that gets to be attacking? Oh man. Looks like no one is gonna switch into Vara right now. Sadly, our Mei doesn't want to switch, nor does our Soldier 76 here. So I can go ahead and use, you know, the switch here to try and see if we can go for Vara here instead. I'll have to do some focus though, and this does mean that we're only gonna be getting a single healer now. At the very least though, I feel like I'm reasonable playing Vara, so there's that. There is that, and I had some practice in this week's brawl, right? This week's brawl has been all about the beehive and murdering people with Vara. Looks like they've got a Junkrat, which is a really easy counter for Vara, as Junkrat can't really shoot up, obviously. He has a very hard time doing so. Gotta be careful though. Looks like there's also going to be a little bit of a guy called Hanzo there on the high ground. I kind of need healing here. I'm a little bit worried of flying up in the sky. But there we go. There's that turret I was talking about previously. Okay. I need healing though. I don't know exactly where our Mercy is currently at. That, you know, Hanzo needs to go. Alright, I'm gonna start shooting at the turret now. I'm gonna try and start focusing on the turret. Now, it's a very difficult hit. Sadly, did not receive healing there in quite a while though, and he manages to take me out. This is not good, man. This is a little bit worrisome. Trying to focus here on taking down that turret, right? But that Hanzo needs to be gone. That Hanzo needs to be taken care of before we can really do anything. Either he needs to go in a different position or whatever, but I can't really shoot at the turret very easily from here. Trying to go for as much damage here as possible, but they're doing an extremely good job of holding on to the objective. We only have a couple of seconds remaining. And man, oh man, does this not look good for us. I've been trying my very best here to do as much as we possibly can. Overtime needs to be triggered very soon, but I'm a little bit worried of going in there myself. I don't really shine at that sort of thing. And I even end up getting taken out. Just when we unlocked our ulti. And even though we did a good job at holding on to the objective, sadly the enemy team does manage to pick up the victory here with the sudden death. Now, the thing about sudden death, right, is that it's so much easier for the defending team than for the offensive team. I don't know if that's just me, but at the very least it feels like that is totally the case. I mean, if we would have won the coin flip there, I'm pretty sure we would have been just fine and we would have been capable of grabbing ourselves the victory just now. Alrighty, let's go ahead and redeem ourselves. That last game, let's just forget about it. Sudden death, it's a little unfair. What can we do about it, right? Right now, it's time to focus on the next one. We're here on Numani. I'm gonna go ahead and play some Symmetra once again. And by the way, I did just try and queue up another game right here, as you can see. And one of my allies ended up leaving before the game even started. A little bit annoying as well. Anyhow, I'm gonna be spending the early game right here to make sure that we get as many of our little turrets up. And this is one of the few maps where I'm gonna go ahead and focus on setting up a little bit of a death room. And the reason for that is because there's really only like, you know, 2 real entrance ways into the objective here, at least as far as A goes. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do is just make sure that we block off one entire path of that. So one of the paths is gonna be right there in the corner. Looks like everyone's playing rather aggressive though. Not entirely sure if that's the correct thing to do. Does anyone else still need a shield? Nope, you got a shield? You don't have a shield, chat. There you go, Junkrat. But I'm gonna go ahead and set up my defenses in this little room here, which is hopefully gonna at the very least slow them down once they get pushed away from the objective over here. Obviously, they're gonna start over here instead. On this particular map, there's gonna be a payload that needs to be escorted after they capture A. Kind of the same as in Hollywood, actually. But we'll spend our early game here, yeah, just hanging around. We gotta make sure that we don't die, obviously. Hey! Hey, that's not very nice. Oh, man! They killed all my stuff! No! Guys, no! Oh man, extremely well done actually by the enemy team here, and they're pushing onwards, man. They're absolutely murdering everyone. I'm trying to make sure that we get our ultimate ready to go here. Obviously, we can still do a substantial amount of damage. At the very least, once our abilities hatch onto one of the enemies. I'm a little bit low now, so I'm gonna try and see if we can get around here. I'm gonna go ahead and set up my ulti right here in the corner. The ultimate does allow my allies once again to get close into the combat really, really quickly, because they will be able to teleport towards A instead of move all the way themselves. I'm gonna have to make sure that we set up our defenses over here as well with the sentry turrets once again. Still trying to block off this path. But lucky for us, that did not quite push into A quite far enough there. That's nice. That's actually quite nice. Man, this diva has been doing quite a little bit of work. Although for some reason, she's not really aiming at me very often. Nice. She can block my beam. She cannot block my beam. There we go. She does get taken out there. None of my allies actually ended up using the teleporter just yet, but while this has been a little messy so far, and we had to trigger all of the ultimates there before it really worked out in our advantage, all of the enemies ended up dying there, and I think we're in a good spot. I think we're in a good spot now. Whew, close one. Close one. Alrighty. I'll go ahead and set up my turrets over here too. Seems like they've all decided that this is the place where they want to walk in, which is okay by me. If we would have had a Hanzo here, it would have been brilliant, because he can basically just shoot his dragon, you know, straight through this alleyway, and no one really is going to be capable of preventing him from doing so, because they can't really run anywhere. Either way though, this is still fine. Well, they took actually the third spot there. This is actually a third exit, or like a third entrance into A, but not a lot of people use it, so I kind of disregard it altogether. Gonna be walking back once again. Since I have 100 of my health in shields, I will be regenerating it after 3 seconds. Actually, Diva going in with the ulti there, destroying my turrets, and actually also destroying some of my allies. This is not good. Ah, nice push there by the enemies, and I think that just did allow them to get all the way over towards the objective, and I think they're gonna be capable of pushing into A right now. Although the teleporter is still up, ready to go. We can't prevent them. If we can, that would be helpful. I'm super low though, but they did just manage to get it. I'm gonna go ahead and switch next time around that I die, because this hero is not gonna be all that great anymore after A. So I'll switch next time I die, but actually, it looks like everyone's still over there. Now, you gotta keep in mind, their spawn location is right here to the left right now. I didn't mean to die that quickly. But at the very least, we now have time to switch. So, what exactly are we gonna be switching into here? We don't have too many defenses, but I think I'm gonna go ahead here and pick a little bit of Hanzo. I think that would be rather helpful. Hanzo is, you know, a little difficult though. He's a little bit difficult, and I'm not the strongest Hanzo player in the world. While he's one of my favorites, he's very difficult to play as well. So I have to be kind of smart about hitting the enemies. I got a sonic arrow obviously that I will be able to use here, and I also have my scatter arrow that I will be able to use. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Oof. I was a little worried there that I was gonna go ahead and end up falling, and 2 of my allies actually did end up falling just now. And I did just manage to get it towards the next checkpoint as well. I'm getting a lot of hit markers though, so we're doing a lot of damage to them. It's just that none of them end up falling there. Okay, I need to back up. We nearly have our ultimate ready to go, but they are pushing towards the objective already, and they are currently looking to get that third point in play as well. 4 of them are currently on the objective. We are very close to having our ultimate ready to go though, so that's something we may be able to use here. Okay. Oh man, I'm stuck. Man, that was unfortunate. We had a really good ulti there. We hit a lot of the people, but sadly their diva was just behind us doing a lot of work, and they also just used their Zarya ultimate, but they didn't quite grab the objective yet. They did not quite grab the objective yet, and it looks like all of the enemies have fallen since. There we go. And I think we're actually fine. Alright, here's what we do. I want to get towards the high ground there. I don't actually know if you can climb like that. Yeah, you can. That's good. I want to get towards the high ground and see if we can potentially pick one of them off a little bit earlier. Well, than they wanted to. Don't really want to be fighting her in a one-on-one unless it's on my terrain. Oh man. Do get to resurrect there. But I'm all by myself. Did not mean to be with the enemies in one little room. We do get the rip tire right now. Hopefully he can make something work. 3 minutes remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Gotta start, you know, dashing back and forth here. Oh, got him. Got him. Okay. Got a lot of kills there as well. Doing as much work here as possible, but no, 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 no! They managed to escort it to the very end. That was well done though. That was a really, really good game. Oh no, I think we did a lot of work there, but sadly it was just barely not enough. Alright, we're on the attack now. We're on the attack now. Let's see what is gonna be necessary here. There's several heroes that could potentially help us out, obviously. There's several here that would be good. I'm not opposed to, for example, playing Mei here. Mei is pretty helpful. So is, for example, Junkrat. Junkrat also a very powerful hero. We don't have a support yet, though, so if no one wants to go ahead and play support, I'll end up switching into that myself. Alright, it's gonna be crucial that we do manage to also capture Objective A and then escort the payload all the way towards the very end. That's gonna be some of the most important things we can do right now. I'm obviously here playing Mei. Mei is really powerful. If played correctly, she's one of those heroes that can solo things a lot more so than other heroes can. Basically have counters against a whole lot of things, although if we don't really have to fight in that little alleyway, I'm not gonna be there. I'm not gonna hang out over there at all. We're gonna start pushing here. At the very least try. Obviously make sure that we freeze as many of these enemies to death as possible. Ooh, not sure about that one. I'm very low now. Oh, what? Oh, I thought I put down the... Oh, I thought I put down the wall behind him. Now, to be fair, I would have gotten killed there by the Riptire anyway, so in the end, it doesn't matter for me personally, but I guess he managed to interrupt my cast by using his hook there. So I ended up trying to put down my ice wall, but sadly, it did not go down in front of me whatsoever. Now, we are going to start pushing towards the objective, it looks like, which is good. I'm going to take the main route here now that I see that Diva is also located over there. And I'm going to start hitting a couple of nerds. Okay. Gonna go ahead and throw my ulti as far forward here as possible. Hopefully it's gonna freeze at least a couple of the enemies in place, which should help out a lot. We do get the ultimate there of our healer as well. Alright, fine. If you don't want to fight us, that's fine. Lucio's sound barrier obviously extremely helpful, and it looks like it has been enough. It looks like it has been enough to activate it and add towards the objective. Here we go. Nice. Gotta try and freeze her. Very good. Very good. Alrighty. Let's stay close to the payload now and make sure we start escorting this thing. Obviously, using my right click here as much as I can. I know that he just used his hook, so it's gonna be on cooldown for another little while. Got my shift here ready to go at a moment's notice. And I think that was going to be necessary there because 2 versus 1 is going to always be difficult. A little bit low on HP now, but we are escorting the payload extremely nicely. We are escorting the payload extremely nicely. That's really good. They've got a teleporter? Okay. Don't know if switching into Symmetra is going to be too helpful over here. I'm gonna need some help, I'm afraid. I'm gonna need some help, I'm afraid. Oh man, I'm all by myself. Woo! Okay, Reinhardt did end up falling there. He was chasing me down like crazy. Now, luckily for me, obviously, I'm one of the strongest heroes when it comes to these sort of occasions, and it looks like we have also escorted it safely towards the second checkpoint. Very nice. Very, very nice. Got my ulti ready to go once again. And we're gonna start escorting this thing towards the final objective. We still have a lot of time remaining here. 5 minutes is something we can quite easily do. I'm actually rather impressed here with the team. Generally speaking, these games are gonna be a little bit more complicated. I got my shift here ready to go. Nice, 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 nice. Need to find a good opportunity here for my ulti. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it right there. Hopefully that should allow us to get it around the corner. Okay, nice. Very well done. Extremely well done so far by the team. Oh no, Lowko. Woo! Got him. I don't really have any cooldowns right now. Okay. Shit, they actually did just manage to get a turret or something. I'm trying to still push as far as I can go, obviously. I'm a little bit low now. Oh, close one. I do end up eating one of the shots of Vara there. Obviously, she's pretty good at taking out heroes from a little bit of distance. We did a lot of work there. I hope that it was gonna be enough, but it looks like... Ooh, it's not quite ready to go yet, but we got apparently the sound barrier good to go. All of them nearly have their ultimates. Mine is not quite there yet, but I'm not near the objective either. I can see if I can maybe go through the balcony, move around here instead. But all of my allies are currently pushing the objective. 5 seconds remaining. Team kill has been achieved. I think that must have been the Dragon Strike or something. And that does mean that we did just manage to complete round 2. Also with 3 points.
Sudden death.
I mean, this is the best scenario. This is the best scenario we could have hoped for. This is basically the ideal place to be in. Obviously though, it is not game over yet, and we will need to hold on. We will need to hold on extremely nicely, and I'm actually contemplating to switch into a little bit of Torbjorn. You know, the thing is, Torbjorn is easy to counter, but he's one of those heroes that is extremely good at slowing down the enemies, right? And slowing down the enemies is really what we're looking for. And knowing that they previously had that really sick push with their D.Va, you know, and they took out all of my turrets extremely quickly. That would be good. There we go. We do get 2 heals here. We do get Mercy as well as Lucio. And all in all, I think we're good. I think we're gonna be good. Now, one of the most powerful places to put your turret once they are already pushing into A is right at this corner. Now, I'm not entirely sure where the allies are willing to, you know, set up their attack. Looks like we're gonna be hanging out over here. Okay, in that particular case, I'll put down my turret over here. We need to make sure we stay together. We need to make sure we stay together. I'm gonna go ahead and emphasize that. Stay together, please. Will be best. There we go. Got a really, really, really powerful turret placement here. Because basically, like, putting your turrets around corners, generally speaking, is the best. Because basically, they get around here onto A, and that is where the turrets start shooting, right? So, it's not gonna be hitting all of A. It's not gonna be doing the most damage. But it will be pretty helpful when it comes to taking out the enemies, you know, at this point. So, they've got 1 minute and 40 seconds. This is the ideal scenario for us. We gotta make sure that they just simply don't get towards the objective. That's the main goal here. If we manage to do that, things are gonna be a-okay. If they do manage to, however, push in, that would be unfortunate for us. Now, they are actually doing a really good job here already. My turret is shooting like crazy, doing quite a little bit of work. But sadly, I ended up falling there, and they're actually pushing. They're actually pushing into A. Oh man, that was a perfect hit there for their hero. And so far, oh man, it's being contested. My turret is still alive. They're taking it out right now though, and I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried that this is not gonna work. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man. Oh man, no way. Oh, really nicely done by the enemy team, choosing their heroes accordingly, going for the speed, and all I can say is that I just want to compliment them, but man, that was frustrating. We had such a good engagement there, and we managed to push so nicely into the objective here in the second round, but sadly the sudden death was just a little bit too much. Either way, I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you haven't already, hit that like button, and if you want to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe as well. Other than that, I want to thank you all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!